Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Let's Talk Sports Podcast with me, Lucia. Matthew Stafford has been traded to the Los Angeles Rams for Jared Goff and 2 firsts and 1 third, which great trade for the Lions. But the Rams have totally butchered their draft for the next 3 years. Yeah, that's incredible. I really want to know what happened between Jared Goff and Sean McVay. That something must have seriously gone wrong with their relationship in order for him to want to have his quarterback traded. Apparently Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay were both in a carbo together. So after the trade went through, they went and had dinner together. I wonder if they ran into each other beforehand and wanted to, and are actually friendly with each other and were like, hey, let's see if that happens as a trade. Andrew Luck, is he coming out of retirement? I've been thinking about this for about 2 years now. Ever since he retired, I was like, I don't think he's done. In my head, he just was not done. And this year, now that the Colts don't have a quarterback because Phillip Rivers retired, I think Andrew Luck coming back would be an amazing idea. Coming back to the Colts, potentially winning a Super Bowl, and then he can go into retirement. Yeah, watch your space on that one. So now I will be doing my massive prediction about the Super Bowl at the end of this episode. So I'm going to move on to some other sporting news and then come back to the Super Bowl. College football EA Sports game. It's finally back. I'm so excited. Hopefully the college athletes can get their likeness used and get paid, and their name and all that, and get paid for it. I'm excited to see the game. A lot of people wanted it back for years and years and years upon years, and now it's finally back. So congratulations to the college football EA Sports game. Now let's move on to some NBA news. The Nets are cooking. They're doing super well. They are literally cruising their way to the playoffs. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing them. The game for them to watch out for is on the 19th of February out Australia time, 18th of February the US time. It will be against the Lakers. That will be my game of the week. So yeah, just pre-aiming you for that, because that could potentially be a finals showdown. The Nets are doing well. Their big three are all playing amazingly. Defense is not a thing with the team. They need to work on their defense. I think maybe during the buyout they should go and get JaVale McGee. I think he would be a very good asset for them. So yeah, I'm excited for it. NBA All-Star Game is happening on March 7th at the ATL in Atlanta. I'm sick of players being like, it's a slap in the face. Come on, you've got a job during a pandemic. Let's be realistic here. If you didn't have the job of playing basketball, you would be unemployed like the rest of the world during this pandemic. That's the reason why I started up this podcast. It was because I was completely bored during lockdown and needed something to do. So anybody that says that it's a slap in the face needs to have their head checked again. And thank God it's in the ATL, because their governor, the Georgia governor, is actually smart about what's going on and has opened businesses up and is walking around, and people can walk around, people can go out for dinner, people's lives can go ahead, unlike California and New York. Anyway, don't get me started on those two governors. But now moving on to Is it time to panic about the Heat? I think it is. I think it's about time to panic. I don't have them making the playoffs. Or at least getting to the play-in tournament. They lost to the Washington Wizards, who have had 5 wins this season. As somebody said, Bradley Beal being on the Wizards is like having a Bugatti in the middle of a housing project. It's incredible. It's just, he is an incredible talent. I want to see him get out, maybe traded to the Lakers or even traded to the Nets, just get something out, get him out of there, or even to the Sixers. But I wouldn't break up the Sixers team because they're doing really well. But yeah, it's pretty challenging right now for them. Game of the week this week. Even though nobody's actually paying attention to the NBA this week because it's all about the NFL. The Nets versus the Raptors. The Raptors are in 10th place behind the New York Knicks. Next week, if the Knicks are still going the way they're going, I'll be doing a discussion on the Knicks because their season has actually been fantastic. But the Nets versus the Raptors. I think this is going to be a good game. The Tampa Bay Raptors, because they're not allowed into Canada. The Tampa Bay Raptors are doing really well. I think that having a team in Tampa Bay will actually see whether there's need for another 2 teams in the NBA. I think there is. I think we put one in the East and one in the West. Anyway, that'll be something that I'll talk about later at a later date. But yeah, look for all of the big 3 to have amazing games. And look for DeMar DeRozan. No, he's no longer on the Raptors. Look for Kyle Lowry. Oh my god, I went back to 2018 Toronto Raptors. DeMar DeRozan is on the Spurs. Oh my god, I'm sorry about that. I totally forgot about the fact that they did that trade and totally screwed DeMar DeRozan. But hey, they won a title through it. But anyway. So look for Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet to have 2 amazing games. So now, on to what everybody's been waiting for. The Super Bowl preview and predictions. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Throughout this week, I'm not going to lie to you guys, throughout this week I've gone back and forth on who I think is going to win this game. I look for Travis Kelce and for Gronk to have 2 amazing games because they will be the decision makers. So I'm going to give you 2 scenarios. If Tom Brady throws a perfect game, Tampa Bay is going to win. If they can manage to hold Travis Kelce, the Tampa Bay Bucs defense can hold Travis Kelce, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win. But if Patrick Mahomes plays an okay game, I'd give it to Kansas City. But in my heart of hearts, I don't know why I can't go against Tom Brady. It's Tom freaking Brady. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. You can't go against him. It'd be like picking against Jordan or picking against Kobe. You can definitely pick against LeBron because he has a losing record in finals. But yeah, I'm going with the Bucks. I know. I don't see them losing. As I said earlier in the playoffs, I just don't see them losing. And I don't believe in the whole boy wonder Patrick Mahomes thing. It's definitely the kid versus the goat. And for those of you who don't know, a baby goat is called a kid. So it definitely is a kid versus the goat. Yeah. It's so the Super Bowl's been played on Monday in Australia. So I've actually taken the day off work in order to go to a bar and watch it. So after the Super Bowl, I will be doing a podcast. I'll be doing a special episode of Let's Talk Sports podcast, explaining the game, explaining the results. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I still got Tampa. Still got the Bucks. So that is all for this week's episode of Let's Talk Sports podcast with me, Lucia. So I'll catch you all next week. After the Super Bowl. Let's go Tampa. Bye.